Hello and welcome to the Podquest of Bread. My name is Henry Conley. Tonight I want to talk about national security. And I want to talk about the threat that Donald Trump is to the national security of the United States. His possible likelihood of being convinced by fake stories, maybe even ones put out within the United States itself, and the implications of that on a national and international scale. Now, I say his possibility of being influenced by fake stories put out within this nation itself, because oddly enough, we bore witness to that today. Earlier this morning, Donald Trump retweeted a news article, and I should really put that in quotation marks. He retweeted a news article from the Babylon Bee. He retweeted it in much the same way that he would typically retweet something that he is actually trying to make a point using his Twitter account with, including tagging the Babylon Bee in the tweet. Now, for those that don't understand, the Babylon Bee is much like the Onion. It's much like Tater's Gonna Tate. It's like a lot of the satirical websites out there. They have their targeted audience that they go after with these stories to kind of poke fun at them. The Babylon Bee's general audience is going to be a Christian conservative. That's who they're targeting. That's who they are trying to, hit with these satirical arguments and these satirical articles. And one made it into Donald Trump's perception. It made it into his eyes, and he retweeted it because it made sense to him. It actually went in line with a lot of the things that were happening with Twitter and pertaining to the whole entire fake story that came from Rudy Giuliani via the New York Post about Hunter Biden and Burisma and emails. And the problem is Donald Trump obviously didn't even read this. If he had read it, he probably would have picked up on the not serious nature of this. But either way, he put out a tweet, and the tweet said, Twitter shuts down entire network to slow spread of negative Biden news, with the link to the article via at Babylon Bee. While this has never been done in history, this includes his really bad interview last night. Why is Twitter doing this? Bringing more attention to Sleepy Joe and Big T. Now, Twitter, before or after pointing out that he retweeted the Babylon Bee, a satirical website, Twitter, after calling him a fool and a moron for doing this, also pointed out that the Big T reference at the bottom or at the end of this tweet was very odd. It was very oddly placed. Was he referring to himself as Big T? Was he referring to Twitter as Big T? The problem is, if he was referring to Twitter as Big T, then why'd he say it as Twitter earlier in the tweet? He could have been referring to Big Tech, which is something he's been targeting, and in the need to shorten the tweet so that way it could actually go out in one tweet, he just called it Big T. We don't know. But the article from the Babylon Bee is what I want to quick focus on first, because there's many things within this that you, in theory, should figure out really quickly. This is fake, and I'm just going to read the article because it's super short. They start all of their articles out with a very professional format, what you would think to find within an actual news article. It's part of the satirical part of this. San Francisco, California. In a last-ditch effort to stop negative stories about Joe Biden and his family from spreading, Twitter shut down its entire social network on Thursday. Okay, if you believe in the conspiracy theories that social media has a bias against Trump and is trying to help Biden get elected, that first line makes sense. That first line works for you. After seeing account after account tweet out one particularly bad story, this is referring to the Burisma emails from the New York Post, CEO Jack Dorsey realized he had to take action. Dorsey smashed a glass box in his office reading, "Break in case of bad publicity for Democrats." Inside the case was a sledgehammer for smashing Twitter's servers. that paragraph right there proves that Donald Trump didn't even read this damn article. He retweeted this because the headline caught his attention, and he was like, there's evidence. There's evidence of what I've been talking about. If you think that Jack Dorsey has a glass box in his office that says breaking case of damaging, or what, let me quote this right, breaking case of bad publicity for Democrats, and has a sledgehammer inside of it to smash Twitter's servers, I have news for you. I have oceanfront property in Arizona for you to buy. There is no way that you could logically believe that this is real. Beyond the fact that Twitter servers actually are worldwide. So on top of this, you'd have to believe that he broke this glass case, got this sledgehammer, smashed the U.S.'s servers in multiple states, then started traveling country to country to country to try and shut down or smash other servers. The article goes on to say, Red alert, shut the servers down, shut them all down. Dorsey ran downstairs and started smashing as many computers as he could, but he did need to ask for some help, as the sledgehammer was pretty heavy. None of the programmers could lift the hammer either. Eventually, they managed to program a robot to pick up the sledgehammer and smash the servers. After hearing the Twitter's employees all talk about critical theory, the robot got woke and began attacking all cis white males. This article was not read by Donald Trump before he tweeted it out. The headline caught him, and he was off to the races. This was everything he needed. He believed it was real. Now, his supporters are going to try and claim that he was just trying to have some fun. He was cracking a joke. Oh, funny Donald Trump. Nah. He saw an article. He saw the headline. The headline made sense to him. He tweeted it out. And again, the way you know that he actually thought this was real was by saying, wow, this has never been done in history. This includes his really bad interview last night. Why is Twitter doing this? Bringing more attention to Sleepy Joe and Big T. Donald Trump was fooled by a satirical article within the United States. This is where national security becomes the hot button topic here. He was fooled by an article written by a satirical group in the United States, a page that has existed for years and has been doing this for years. Somehow, he did not know that Babylon Bee was fake. Somehow, he thought this was all real. And if he read this article, it's even more damning for how easily he is being manipulated. That's the concern. A satirical article from within the United States manipulated the president into believing that this actually occurred. A satirical article from within the United States manipulated the president into retweeting this to his 87 million followers because he thought this was real. If he read the article, it's even worse. It's even worse. What could a foreign power put together now that they have seen that a satirical website from within the United States was able to manipulate the president of the United States? Folks, we have 18 days till the election. We still have over 3 months until he is out of office if he is voted out November 3rd. That's 3 months that a foreign power now sees that they can sit there and manipulate the president of the United States purely through website and even tweeting at him fake articles. This is a massive national security threat. This is a threat to the security of this nation from within. And the threat is Donald Trump. The threat is his inability to distinguish between satire and real news. His inability to distinguish between truth and fiction. He refused to condemn QAnon, something the FBI has said is a threat to the United States. He can be manipulated by QAnon stories. He could be manipulated by Russia or China or North Korea or any one of our other adversaries. And the results could be detrimental. The results could end in the death of U.S. soldiers. The results could end in bombs being dropped more than they already are now. The results could be devastating. This is a threat to the very security of our country, because we have someone who is so incompetent, who is so grossly in over his head that he cannot distinguish between reality and fiction, conspiracy and truth. If there's any more proof that this guy does not deserve a second term and cannot win a second term, it's got to be this. It has to be this. This guy is a absolute moron. And the fact that people are attempting to still defend it is pathetic. The cult has gripped them. The cult controls them. Donald Trump controls them. But the problem is Donald Trump could be the death of them. He could be the death of you, and he could be the death of me. Russia or China or North Korea or any one of our other adversaries could put together an actual article, an article that appears to be real, an article that creates a boogeyman in a foreign nation, and Donald Trump could impulsively use a drone to strike them. I hope you understand the reference I'm trying to make here. General Soleimani. Trump was manipulated and struck General Soleimani on foreign soil, all because he was manipulated by those around him. What could happen if a foreign power manipulated the president into thinking that there was an existential threat to the security of the United States in another nation, a friendly nation, a nation we have no problems with, or maybe a nation that dropping one weapon, one singular weapon on, could spark a world war? This is what we're talking about. Donald Trump's inability to distinguish from reality, fiction, is the biggest threat we face for the next 3 months. If he loses in November, which there is a great likelihood he will, polling data shows Biden roughly 11 points ahead. If he loses in November, that threat becomes even greater, because at that point, he's got nothing left to lose. It's the same reality we face if he wins re-election. He has nothing else to lose. We got to do what's right. We got to remove this madman from power. We need to at least, and I hate to say it this way, things aren't going to change if Biden's in power. But the one thing we could count on, if Biden or Howie Hawkins or Joe Jorgensen or Mark Charles or any of these other candidates win, is that there will be someone that will at least be able to distinguish between reality and fiction for the purposes of the argument. Because when you talk to anybody within the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, or even independents, they recognize that the chances of those candidates winning are slim to none. But for the sake of the argument, between Biden and Trump, Biden at least will be able to distinguish between reality and fiction and restore some semblance of national security, that he won't be fooled or manipulated by a foreign power, let alone a satirical website within the United States of America. I don't know what else to say about this. It's dangerous. It's sad. We may laugh about it, but in reality, we should all be fearful of it. Stay beautiful, humans.